Looking for a great place to purchase Dragon Ball Super product? Look no further than Pro Play Games. They carry a wide array of singles and sealed product at amazing prices. Go to www.pro-playgames.com today.
Welcome back to the Mafuba Jar, where you have been sealed away for another amazing video. And today's video is going to be a deck profile of my version of the blue-green androids deck. Now, it is a green leader deck that came out in set 2. And it's done quite well in the competitive scene for a lot of reasons. Like, honestly, this leader card is very, very good. It's the Android 17 leader, and I'll read off what it does here. Reduce the energy cost of Android 17 and 18 cards in your hand by 1. So, really, really good. And unlike most cards, you actually awaken at 6 life instead of 4. So let's go ahead and take a look at his awakened side here. Diabolical Duo, Android 17 and 18. And yes, this card here counts as both 17 and Android 18. Now, the permanent is the exact same. Reduce the energy cost of 17 and 18 by 1. That effect stays. And also, if your life is 4 or less, all of your Android and 17 18 cards gain 5,000 power. So, at 4 life, this gets its 1,500, and every other one of your Android 17 18 gain 5,000 as well. So, really, really good. And it's got the auto when you attack draw card. So, really, this is a really good leader. And as I said, this is the blue-green version, so I'm going to be covering all the green cards first, and then I'll get into the blue cards in that order. Alright, I'm going to start with our 1-drop greens here. It's going to be 2 copies of Full Power Energy. Now, this is the green negate that they have. You negate the attack, then you choose up to 1 opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 1 or less and KO it. So, pretty good to get rid of those annoying little 1-drops so they can't combo with them later on. Alright, and now for our 2-drops. We have 4 copies of Encroaching Terror Android 19. This card right here is amazing. So what it does is it has 5,000 power, but its auto says that when you attack with this card, you draw a card and it gains 5,000 power for that turn. So every turn, it's going to be a 10,000 beat stick that draws you a card. So it's definitely something your opponent's going to want to destroy immediately. And if they don't, and they just keep attacking your leader, then you're just going to keep drawing endlessly that card. Saw a little bit of glare there. Sorry about that. Alright, and for more 2-drops here, probably our main searcher of the deck, it's going to be 4 copies of Terrible Creator Android 20. When you play this card, you choose up to 1 battle card which includes Android in its card name. That's very important, other than Android 20 from your deck, and add to your hand. Now, as I said, that's important because it says Android in its card name. So that means you cannot search Cell with this card. Even though its special trait says Android, Android is not in Cell's name, so you can't search it. But that's fine because this searches our Android 19s, our Android 17s, our 18s, our 16s. Searches everything Android. So very, very good. And for our last of our 2-drops for green is going to be 4 copies of Trunks Protector of Children. Now this is our big combo card of the deck here. You combo with it, when your life's 4 or less, you draw a card, and that card has 10,000 on its combo for the rest of the turn. So, very, very good. And that does it for our 1 and 2-drops. Now let's go into our 3-drops. And I say 3-drops with imaginary quotations. So we have 3 copies of Twin Brother Android 17? Wow, I cannot believe I said that. I'm ashamed of myself. And 3 copies of Twin Sister Android 18. So, these are technically 3-drops, but with the permanent skill of your leader, these are actually 2-drops. And they have the same effect. For once per turn, when this card attacks, you may place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. If you do, choose up to 1 Android 18 in your battle area and switch it to active mode. And Android 18 does the exact same thing, but it applies to Android 17 cards. So you could be like, there's like a combo you could do where you can attack up to 4 times as long as you have at least 2 of these guys out. At least 1 of each of these out. And another 17 or another 18. You can attack multiple times per turn and just overwhelm your opponent. Alright. For more 3-drops, we have 3 copies of Iron Hammer Justice Android 16. In my opinion, this is a broken card. It has Blocker and Revenge. For Blocker, when your opponent declares an attack, you could switch this to rest mode, have the target change to him. And Revenge is when this is attacked, KO the card after the battle. So it's already spot removal right there. And 1500 is a little hard to get rid of, especially early in the game. So really good right there. But its auto makes it so much more broken. So when this card KOs an opponent's battle card, switch this card to active mode. So it doesn't matter how this card KOs your opponent's battle card. Whether it be through its revenge skill, whether it be through battle. Any way this card knocks out one of your opponent's battle cards, you switch it back to active. And this is not a once per turn thing, so you can just keep attacking your opponent's battle cards endlessly, just to get rid of all of them. So, honestly, just a broken card. Speaking of broken cards, I'm also going to be running 2 copies of Martial Expert Ten Shinhan. Now, what you do with this card is that you combo with him. You pay 2 energy to combo with him, but after you combo with him, you can play him right back there in active mode. And its activate is really amazing. You choose 1 card in your life, place it in the drop area. Choose another card in your life, add it to your hand. Then choose up to one opponent's battle cards and KO it. So you could technically not KO anything with this because it says up to 1. And most people run 3 or 4 of these cards in green decks. The only reason I run 2 is because since he awakens at 6, you really only need 1 TN. Ever. You only need to use this effect 1 time to go into your awakening, so that's why I run 2. But if you want to run more TN, by all means do so. He's an amazing card. Alright, and now for the 4 and 5 drops for green. For 4 drops, we're only running 2 of them. Run 2 copies of Kale. Hidden Awakening, this card is amazing. Probably one of the best cards we've gotten out of set 2. It has critical 20,000 power, so that right there is pretty good. And it's got 2 autos. When you play this card, choose one of your battle cards and knock it out. Then you can choose any number of your opponent's battle cards, of which the total adds up to 5 or less, and KO all of them. So you can knock out 5 1-drops, knock out a 3-drop and a 2-drop, knock out a 4-drop and a 1-drop. Just so many things you can knock out just from playing this card. And when this card ejects, and if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, you draw a card. So it's critical, it's spot removal, and it's a draw engine. Probably one of the most broken cards that was released for green in set 2. Alright, and now for our 5 drops. Gonna be running 3 copies of Expanding Energy Android 17. Now this card also right here is amazing. Even though it's a 5 drop, remember your leader makes this a 4 drop. And has a double strike. Also, when you attack with this card, you draw cards until you have 4 in your hand. So something I like to do when I'm testing is just try my best to empty my hand down to 0, attack with this card, and draw 4 cards. So really, really good there. Not to mention, sell is a very big annoying thing. So being able to always refill your hand after they discard your hand is a very good thing. And last up for our green cards, we run 2 copies of Exterminating Energy Android 18. Now, like her brother 17, this card also has double strike and has the auto for when this card attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. So this refills your hand, this diminishes your opponent's hand. Now, any argument can be made to run 3-3 or have this at 3 and have this guy at 2. Like I said, I chose this ratio mainly because of how popular Cell is, but if you want to mess around with the ratio yourself, that's perfectly fine. They're both very good cards, and even though they're technically 5 drops, as I said before, they are 4 drops because of your leader. So I listed to you guys technically all 4 drops right there. And that does it for the green side, and now we're going to get into the blue cards here. Going to be running 4 copies of Sensu-Bean. In my opinion, probably one of the most broken cards of the game, period. You pay 1 blue to play it, and then your card gains 5,000 power for the turn, and you get to retap 2 energy. So you can retap 2 blues, a blue and a green, 2 greens if you really wanted to. So, just an amazingly broken card. And even though we run 2 copies of full power energy, the main negate card we're focusing on here is Whis' Coercion. Now this is probably the best counter that we have because you negate the attack, then you retap 1 of your energy So you pay a blue, you basically play it for free, or you can retap a green if you want to be cheeky, but you're going to want to retap the blue. I just said the green because it's technically something you can do. But yeah, it's basically a free negate, which makes this card busted. Alright, and the last of our 1-drops, going to be 4 copies of Energy Boosted Majin Buu, just because drawing cards is always a nice thing. You can never have too much draw power in this game right now. And for the last 4 cards of our deck, going to be running 4 copies of Objection, just because we want to ramp up our energy as soon as possible. You definitely want to always see Objection in your opening hand. If you don't, mulligan as much as possible to be sure that you get Objection in your hand. Because being able to pull off these guys by turn 3, it's going to be overwhelming for your opponent. Alright, and with that, that does it for my blue-green Android deck. Hope you guys like this deck that you saw here, and don't worry guys, I did not put any promos in this deck because, well, for starters, money trees are not in season right now, so I definitely don't have money for the promos that would really help this deck. But androids, as I said before, the good news is that, like, even though the promos really help, the promos are not necessary in the android deck. So you could definitely go to a tournament and do well with this deck without any promos whatsoever. So that's another reason why I really like this deck so much. So hopefully you guys get a kick out of this deck as much as I have, hopefully. And honestly, this has become like one of my favorite green decks to play. Just because of all the crazy stuff you can do with it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And with that, you are now released.